So hello everybody, dear IACDE members, dear friends worldwide, and welcome to the first IACDE International Virtual Convention. My name is Sylvia Schöning, and I'm your moderator in this event. In addition to warmly welcoming all of you in the United States, in Canada, in Scandinavia, in Italy, and Japan, of course, and Germany, we would like to give you some technical information and a few hints for successful completing this online event. I would like to introduce to you Janine Volke. She's our technical profi, or our expert, and she will give you a short information to this event from the technical side. As an introduction, I would like to share a video with you from our IACDE International President, from Lodovico Sandegu, who would like to welcome you. And it's in Italian with English subtitles. So please enjoy.
Signore e signori, onorevoli membri di IACDE, il mondo sta cambiando e sta cambiando rapidamente. Nessuno avrebbe potuto immaginare, solo poche settimane fa, che la nostra conferenza internazionale annuale IACDE si sarebbe trasformata in un'esperienza virtuale, anziché svolgersi nel modo in cui siamo abituati da oltre 100 anni. Tuttavia, soprattutto oggi, dobbiamo trovare la forza per innovare ed essere innovativi. Il ruolo di modellisti, designer e manager è cambiato costantemente negli ultimi anni a causa del drastico aumento della tecnologia, dello sviluppo di nuovi materiali innovativi e della riduzione delle nostre produzioni. Alcune pratiche digitali, come la modellazione 3D, le sessioni di adattamento virtuale e le vendite online, erano già pratiche comuni in molti dei nostri luoghi di lavoro. Oggi, misure di distanza sociale messe in atto in tutto il mondo ci obbligano ad accelerare le nostre esperienze digitali. Nuove attività come sfilate di moda virtuali, lavoro da casa, webinar e riunioni di Zoom sono state recentemente introdotte nelle nostre pratiche di lavoro quotidiane e ora sono la nuova normalità. Ci viene chiesto di adattarci rapidamente alla trasformazione digitale. Tuttavia, per essere pienamente efficace, l'approccio digitale si basa completamente sulla nostra esperienza di know-how umani, professionali e aziendali. Pertanto vorrei darvi un cordiale benvenuto alla prima convention virtuale IACDE. Oggi invitare tutti voi a partecipare a questo evento con una mente aperta e il cuore per nuove soluzioni. Sono sicuro che presto avremo il cambiamento per incontrarci di nuovo nel mondo reale.
Okay, thank you very much, Lodovico, for this greeting. When IACDE was forced to cancel the international convention in Bucharest, we almost instantly developed a creative vision. We were focusing on our strengths, which is to share knowledge, and we were recognizing what IACDE stands for, which is absorbing new trends and innovation. So here it is, the time to welcome and embrace digitalization, which we had a kind of preached so strongly for the last years. All our three renowned speakers from Bucharest confirmed immediately to share their presentation with you online. So we are very excited and proud that the international trend researcher Lola Gueldenberg from Berlin will talk to us in a few minutes. And also Martin Seidenberg and David Schmelzeisen. They are both from the Institute of Textile Technology in Aachen, which is actually one of the leading institutes worldwide, will give us insights in, let's say, new production technologies and digital solutions in clothing industry. And following their presentations, they will be happy to meet you in the chat room, where you can ask questions, and they will be happy to answer them. A huge thank you goes, of course, to our long-term and loyal sponsors, our partners, our friends from Freudenberg, from MACBI, from the Fight Group, from Tokai Thermo, and of course from Pick and Kloppenburg. Thank you so much. So to start with our online session now, our platinum partner Freudenberg is going to show you a short video. Please watch it and enjoy.
Out of good ideas, we make performance materials. Thread by thread. Micrometer fine. High-tech non-wovens, wovens, knits, foams, or composite materials that make people's lives better and easier. Because our performance materials ensure that you wake up relaxed even if you suffer from allergies, and that your precious one comes through each night and day dry and happy. We give shape to your daily life, adjust to your pace, heal minor and major wounds in a way that helps patients heal faster. We bring more enjoyment and ease to everyday life. We accompany you on the road, enable adventurers to defy wind and weather. Supply the world with sustainable and safe energy. Find solutions where others see only problems. Create innovations together out of ideas, and success out of innovations. We deliver products and technologies worldwide that help our customers to make advances and open up new markets for them. We give you the imaginative space to build something new. And prove, time and again, that out of expertise and enthusiasm are born the world's best performance materials. Innovating together. Freudenberg Performance Materials.
Thank you very much, Freudenberg. And now let's welcome Lola Gueldenberg. She visualizes trends in technology and digitalization, and she makes them understandable. She's one of the most interesting trend researchers in Europe, and she benefits from almost 20 years of experience as an innovation developer in the industry and as a consultant. And amazingly, she was the first graduated person from a university in the 90s as a hacker. Since then, she has never stopped questioning technologies and social phenomena and putting them into a new context. So welcome, dear Lola Gueldenberg, and the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation, and thank you to talk to all the audience. So the scope for today will be how digitalization can help you in times of crisis. And we will talk about how digitalization will boost your business, what could be optimized. For example, think about the video conferencing, document sharing, the cloud, ideas and concept, distribution, production. So everything what keeps your business running. And I think it's interesting to see, we had this a few seconds ago, we will come into a decade of try and error. That will be the briefing in the next weeks. And we will go through a steep curve of learning and to test and to stretch all the efficiency of digital tools, and that will change our mind. It's really a big shift in the mindset when you try and error, and try and error will be not a mistake, it will be a solution. So don't panic, be positive, and that's why I choose this little statement to open my little presentation. A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking, because its trust is not on the branch, but on its own wings. So always believe in yourself and see digitalization as a tool to boost your business, to come up with new ideas. And I maybe can give you a little overview what's coming next, where we are right now. And I have an idea which I brought, which I took in my presentation to inspire your business. And yeah, so we will go into it. And first of all, let me just talk about how digitalization influencing the world right now. So when we see around and we see, for example, our daily life in the moment, we have very strange situations. We are talking with live sessions, maybe in Zoom. We are drinking an after-work beer via Skype. We are doing telephone calls with WhatsApp, or collecting our shopping wishes when we can shop again, maybe by Alexa. It's interesting how the nets behind and the layers are communicating and interacting between each other. And it's the only way to control the different layers is to work with blockchain, with artificial intelligence, with big data. Otherwise, we are losing the control. So digitalization will boost these big technologies and attributes like big data, blockchain, and artificial intelligence, as I explained. And we will see in the next few months new use cases and new concepts and new markets where the big technologies are the drivers. Next frame, it takes a little second. Okay. When we go deeper, when we take maybe a more analytic view on the technologies behind, then we see different ways of communication. We see the communication between a human and a machine, between a machine and a human, between machines and machines, and machines and humans, and all these variations at the end are accumulating in a new way of understanding of artificial intelligence. And the positive things when it comes to artificial intelligence, you can deal with it. It's not necessary to be an expert anymore. You can work with tools which help you to control big data ideas. You can communicate with an artificial intelligence by chatbots, by voice interfaces. It's not necessary anymore to be an expert to work with artificial intelligence processes or with algorithms in the back. It's more easier to bring digitalization into the companies. When it comes to production, for example, we can produce smaller and more flexible with more sensors, and it's cheaper to bring automation into the production processes. That's a big chance, for example, to combine art and crafts with mass production. Of course, these concepts are not very new or unique, but they are getting a big boost in the moment, and we will see a completely new world of textiles and concepts and new solutions where digitalization, organic materials, inorganic materials are coming together. For example, I brought another example, and that's Alina. She's creating individual designs with smallest plastic cuts, and she's putting them and melting them together in a process. And you see these filigrane, very nice designs on the left side. And now I'm working together with her, and we try to let her work glue, to bring light into it, and to design a more electric couture with her a really, really nice piece of art. And it's interesting to see what's possible with electricity on a very basic construction. And the question is, okay, when you do these beautiful things, how can you sell? How can you distribute? And that's, for example, another position of digitalization. It was never easier to launch an e-commerce business. Just think about what kind of possibilities you have right now in combination with social media. And like I said before, it's not necessary to be an expert to work with AI. It's not necessary anymore to be an expert to work with social media. I'm sure a lot of people know interest in Instagram yet, and you can bring up with your own photographs. You can upload complete catalogs. You can convert buyable product pins into that format, and including payment services. So. And Pinterest are really predicted and really very good organized to combine them with payment services very quickly. And they give you a lot of tools to work easily on a professional level, to boost your photographs, for example, to integrate typography, to come up with new layer design and editorial design concepts. And it's not necessary anymore to be a big designer to create your own shop, for example. And the interesting part behind that is because of these smart possibilities, you see this development in different markets. For example, when the internet in the moment is changing, we are coming from the static picture to a more to trailer concept. So an ad is not be static anymore. It will be animated. It will be a movie. And when you try, do me a favor, try iMovie. If you are not into technology, it doesn't matter. It makes really fun to produce your own trailer. It's really easy. So when you are producing with your mobile, a little clip, maybe of your production line or of a new product you want to promote, you have stills, you have a little sequence which you can film, a video by your mobile. You can upload them in a sequence with tone, with different styles, with different designs in between, and it's really easy to do a trailer which looks like profession now in a way. So social media, for example, helps you very quickly to boost sales and trading and to be well known. And you can try it, and or you have children who can explain that to you. But try it. Just try it. You cannot disturb so much. So please try it. The click. Okay, and because of these smartness and easiness, lightings and designs and tool, we will see competitors and competitions arising at places we will not expect it. For example, live gaming platforms. Everybody has an idea of live gaming platforms. Nerds are sitting on computers and just talking who they should shoot and what they collect. But the interesting thing is these gaming platforms, the community is really, really large, and the community and the platforms, they are profis in selling and in presenting, and they are creating tools. And it's interesting to take a look on that markets, because the way how they sell furniture, how they sell clothing, how they create clothing, and what's possible with textiles and designs. There's a big booth right now, and the step to go in a real market, to come to a real training and selling, it's really, that's a little step. So just take a look on these gaming platforms. Besides that, it's completely inspiring when you be a part of, for example, there's a game called Citizen Star. It's a science fiction setting. Go just walk around in these worlds. They are really big. You can be a visitor. You can take a look on interiors. You can take a look on clothing, on fashion. And it's very interesting how people are creating their own designs. And beside that, what could be to be sold there from commercial productions or for commercial brands. And the platforms are open to the real selling world and to real trading platforms, and I think that could be an interesting market too. And the next chart is another example which I collected because I think it's interesting for the textile and fashion industry to transfer this idea to your market. Actually, the collectors are curators who created an open platform where other people can show their private collections. So when you're willing to show your collection, you can bring it online. It's like a digital gallery, but the only thing is, if you want to be anonymous, you have to pay. So it's public. And the interesting process started right now. The collectors are selling and collecting by themselves without the normal real art market in the real world. They changing the value chain completely by the way that they created a collection, a private collection public platform. And so new marketplaces level out old marketplaces. And when you go to thecollectors.com and you see how they are integrating social media with Instagram, with magazine, with newsletter tools, and how they communicate their services, it could be interesting in the future to think what will be next. I'm sure the whole digitalization and the boost behind that we will not lose that when the crisis hopefully is done. The phenomenon will be there that our boundaries get limited to digital services. So now we get used to digital services. We will go through this decade of try and error. We will be more open for digitalization in general, everybody of us. Did you think before that maybe you will wear your mobile close to your body because that you can Skype or answer calls or do home work by Zoom or whatever. So I know a lot of people, for example, on my place, who are now buying these accessories just to put the mobile closer to their body, to put it on their clothing, like jewelry around the neck. And they never did that before. So it's interesting how digitalization is overlapping our bodies and coming in closer to our bodies. So take a look on the collectors and see maybe what could be interesting for your own business. And digitalization, as I said before, the boundaries are limited and going down, and we are more open with technologies. So the next year, for example, will show if virtual reality or augmented reality will really make it. That will be, I think, the next year will be the decision if it's working or not. Of course, we know all these new concepts in sales shops and design shops and everything with the virtual VR and AR and everything. But to be honest, when you go right now into the malls, it's like just a gadget. But the digitalization and the Corona crisis, they will change the way how we go shopping. They will change the way how we are frustrated or not frustrated with technology, who's working or not. There is this mind shift, as I explained before, and that will help and open up more to digital services, which can be a very interesting chance for new job concept and experiences. And click. So be trustful, subdue your technology, try everything, adapt them to your needs, because hacking makes the world even better. Now I'm 50, and the times of my hacking, it's 20 years ago, but the idea to stretch technology and to see what is the advantage for my work, what is the advantage for my life, and they have to follow me, not the other way around. So let machines learn to speak your language, and you should not adapt. It should be the other way around. So your well-being is in the front, ethically, legal, and socially. Don't put up with anything of that, and take your idea. For example, as a designer or developer, my opinion is when technology is not working, it's a bad design. It has maybe a not intuitive interface. It is not really self-explaining. So don't be afraid and don't see the problems, the try and error. That's not your mistake. It's just helping you to let your competences grow. And another point, as I said in the beginning, artificial intelligence, of course, will get a boost too. And what you see right now is Sophia. Sophia is a human robot from Hanson Robotics. And the special of Sophia is she's imitating the mimics of a human being and the gestures, and she's simulating the situation. So it looks like that she's really intelligent. Of course, she's not, but it's really interesting to see how she interacts and to simulating and to learn from human being. That's, for example, a very important key when it comes to artificial. But when we go deeper in the world of artificial, we have to be sure where we are talking about, because artificial in the moment it's like a buzzword and a big solution, or maybe a big fear to lose a job or to lose creative processes. It is exactly, artificial is always a path paved with mistakes. That's the key of artificial intelligence. It's learning by mistakes. For example, we see different definitions of artificial intelligence in like they are discussed right now in the moment. You have the evolutionary part, you have the statically interpretation, and the self-learning idea of artificial intelligence. For example, evolutionary artificial intelligence is doing a kind of mimicry, like in the nature. Think about you are programming a little software, bring that into the net, and you have the idea that the big resources of the internet helps this little software to create a primitive sexualism, to be doubled and doubled and doubled like a parasite, and to get more intelligence and more and more and more, like the Darwinismus. And there was a man who tried that in the 70s, Tom Ray, and his idea was, okay, somehow in the future we will have an artificial intelligence just by giving them resources, a World Wide Web. It was clear that it didn't work very well. So that, for example, was not the right way. The other way to talk about artificial intelligence, and that's always a mistake a lot of people are doing right now, is the big data or the statistical understanding, the mathematical understanding of artificial intelligence. For example, when you have a big database in the back and you show, for example, you bring thousands of images, maybe of one glass, into this data bank, and you show the glass in a sketch, you show it three-dimensional, you show it from different materials, you bring all the possibilities how a glass could look like into the data bank, and then you ask for, show me a glass. Statistically, you will get the right solution just from a statistical point. That's one direction of artificial intelligence. You see, it's not really intelligent. And the third way, and that's the most interesting part of artificial intelligence in the moment, are the self-learning concepts. The self-learning concepts are simulating brain networks with knots and layers. So you put something in and the algorithm is learning. So think about an Excel sheet, for example, and you're creating different parameters. So the data works like a feed, like a food, and is feeding the algorithm. And the algorithm has to decide, yeah, that's right, that's wrong, that's right, that's wrong. At the end, there is a result. And the bigger, the most food you bring in, and the quality of the food is at the end, the result is more value. And so there is a lot of possibilities to do mistakes. For example, maybe in the beginning, the data you start, there are mistakes. Maybe the algorithm there's a mistake. Maybe at the end, when it comes to analyzing the results, there are mistakes possible, or the infrastructure is not really right. So AI is really a path paved with mistakes. And for example, to explain it more visible, okay, so in the first glance, you see a muffin and a chihuahua. And the muffin looks very similar to the chihuahua when the blueberries, for example, has the same distance to the nose. And the machine has to learn, okay, that's a muffin, that's a chihuahua. The interesting, or maybe the funny aspect is right now in the moment, or since a few years, the machines can recognize the images in a better way than human beings. So we as human beings do more mistakes when I show you very fast, that's a muffin, that's a chihuahua, that's a muffin, that's a chihuahua, than the AI. So at the end, it's always a question, how valuable is the data you can use, how big, how rich is the data you can use to feed up the artificial intelligence. And that's the reason, for example, why Facebook and co are in front of artificial intelligence. They have data, they have value data, and they have the structure, the infrastructure, and they can come up with other concepts and create other things or use cases with that. Okay, so the problem is when an AI is learning by mistakes, is she suffering, for example? Does she feel pain? Does she feel pain or frustration? No, she doesn't. Can an IA suffer? Should she have rights? For example, when we program her that maybe she has some feelings. So these are interesting questions coming up in the next time, because when you go back at the beginning of my presentation with all these different layers, we need artificial intelligence to get control and big data boost, who's coming up by digitalization in crisis, in time of crisis. So this rise of AI will force us to become more humble, and to become more humble. And in a decade of try and error, I think that belongs together. It would be interesting to take being humble and try and error. It would be interesting to take that as a design brief and think about what can we do with that, and how can we force, or how can we support this kind of needs, for example. Well, we have to learn, of course, and I think this is what we learn right now. We will not be the smartest and therefore unique and superior species on that planet, and we will see what happens at the end of the crisis. So I think in future, and then this is my last example. As I said, technology will overharm our bodies. This is a solution from a French designer. He creates a toolkit, a human skin as a mobile interface. So think about your mobile. You can scratch it, you can pinch it, you can punch it, you can caress the skin. So the human skin is the best interaction interface you can imagine. And when you think about how technology is melting together with bodies, or how digitalization will be integrated in fashion in the next decades too, that could be interesting to work with body feedbacks, with other way to bring new, other way to interpret senses and to come up with new ideas. If you want to do some experiments with this, then you can order it. It's really cheap, and I have the address. Just give me a second with my notes. So https://muca.cc, muca.cc. Order this human skin and do a little hacking and try not be frustrated by all this digitalization shit around you. Take what you need, and if what you don't need, leave it down. It will not hurt you. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Lola, for your presentation and for your encouraging us to try and error, and for your almost gaming approach to this topic. I think we rarely had a chance or the possibility to experience a scientific topic like yours in such an entertaining way. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dear attendees, now it's your turn. You please go on, and please feel free to challenge Lola and ask questions. Write your questions in the chat room. It's now open again. It was closed for presentation, but it's open again. So please write in your question. And maybe to start with one short question, Lola, from me. A German knowledge magazine lately published an article on artificial intelligence. And there they suggested to talk about computer science instead of artificial intelligence. Can you tell us why?
Okay, as I said before, we have different definitions of artificial intelligence, but computer science in general is interesting to be coded and decoded when it comes to, for example, to bring organical and unorganical world together. I know we were talking about that yesterday. I was thinking about that too, but I would like to answer. I know it sounds a little bit strange, but the understanding of computer science is the competences right now are getting bigger and bigger in the population. They are more willing to deal with technologies. So we have the chance to come up to results which were normally held on by experts. We have this possibility with artificial intelligence. We have this possibility, for example, with bioengineering. We have this possibility with production and robotics and sensorics, because, for example, programming will be simulating and not anymore a mathematical period, for example. I can show a robot a way of movement, for example, and that's the way how I program the robot. The robot is just filming my movement, and that's his programming. So computers science can be really a solution, and artificial intelligence is a little piece of that.
I see. Thank you very much for this explanation. I just see we have some questions popping up in the chat room. First of all, they are all said very inspiring, Lola. Thank you so much for this great presentation. Benoit Cunier asks, do you expect the future of retailing to be digital only?
I don't think so. I think it will be always a combination between off and online, and click and brick. And you see how the big players like Amazon are doing experiments with real shops in reality. I think the solution will be the combination between offline and online. But, and that's important, we are going into the next phase of the Internet of Things. So the idea how we understand being on and off is completely changing in the next years. And it will be, we see that, I think, in little tools like the Amazon Dash button. I'm sure you know that. But this is just a little message of the Internet of Things. When the completely definition, what does it mean to go into the internet, or to be part of a browser, or to be part of a shop, or to be part of a real shopping experience, there we will find completely new concepts, what will be possible in the future because of the Internet of Things.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Thank you. We have another question from Yvonne Heinen-Foudet. She's asking, now with the corona acting as a catalyst for the digitalization process, which great vision of the apparel industry has the best chances of realization after the peak crisis?
Okay, yeah, I was thinking a lot about that, because I have the idea, I know it sounds strange, but when you see how many folios are right now sticked on the ground to show the social distance, I'm sure the folio companies, they earn so many money in the moment just to visualizing social distance. And when social distance part of our society in the next 2 years, for example, it will be interesting to take that as an innovation briefing for new business models. Social distancing in different ways. The folio company is just one way to visualize social distancing, but I'm sure they're doing the biggest deals ever right now.
Definitely. Thank you for this question, for this answer. We have another one. Can you please explain why the next year will be the crucial one for VR? Will it be crucial for VR in general or just for the shopping field? Thank you. Nice presentation, by the way.
Okay, to be honest, I think the new interface will not VR, the new interface will be voice. Voice is the new touch. I think when you see the numbers of smart speakers, the way how Alexa is organizing the daily life and coming up with new live services, and the youngers, for example, the younger generation, they talk with the mobile always loud, so everybody hears. They don't take the mobile anymore. They put the voice speaker on and say everything like that. So I'm sure first we will see new design concepts of voice as being the new touch, and it's interesting to integrate voice in a shopping area and in a shopping concept. Think about you are in a wardrobe and asking, hey Alexa, what is the size 38 in American size, or do you have that in blue? Is this clothing, can I wash that with 60 degrees or whatever? So I think it's easier and more cheaper and more fascinating, especially to bring voice into it. VR, of course it can be a highlight, it can support special things, but I believe in voice.
Okay, thank you.
First.
Another question is social media marketing better for B2C or for B2B business?
I think it's better for both. When you look at the normal media budgets and you see how much 75%, for example, from Burberry is now going into social campaigns, and the classical way how you separate a media budget, it's completely changing right now, and big players are for example, they support TikTok. TikTok is a Chinese crazy platform with nonsense content, but big players are using that because the content is free in the moment. I think it's not fair, but it's free. The people who are using TikTok and bringing their content in, they are not paid for when they are part of a campaign, for example. And but that's an interesting market for big brands. The community is growing there very much.
Yes, thank you very much. I have one question. What type of social media content converts best?
A lot of people asking me that, especially from bigger companies. If I would know that, I would be rich, I think. I at the beginning I had the idea, okay, when the content is completely nonsense, then you have a good chance to get a lot of clicks. But to be honest, no. We did a study. I have a consulting contract, for example, with Deutsche Bahn, and we did a study. What are the triggers and the tribes, and how should the content be organized that it's really bringing a bigger effect and a kind of positive shitstorm. So what you have to do to get the biggest clicks ever. And of course, you have to be Ronaldo or Kardashian, and then it's easier. It's a mixture. I cannot explain the formula especially, but it's a mixture between non-dance and, for example, quality of style. So the younger people, they are used to produce content on a very high professional level. They have the tools to make their own ads and to make their own marketing instruments on a really high-tech self-providing channels and issues, and they have a lot of expectations on that. It's more difficult.
Definitely. So I have a last question. What are some common social media mistakes business make?
Oh, this I can answer very quickly. You have the idea to control the community. That doesn't work. If you start controlling the community, if you start to bring up features which look like controlling the community, it doesn't work. Take just Nike, for example, Nike Sports. Nike, they have a clever sponsor concept on private people, not on professional athletes. Of course, they have that too, the professional line, but they have a smart way to promote private athletes and private people to bring them into the Nike community. And when you just go for analyzing Nike community, you learn a lot. What does it mean not to control the community? Because you have to be sovereign, you have to be self-confident that you are you and the community is the community. And of course, sometimes it's not nice when ugly things are coming up, but that's the rights of the part of the community part.
That's perfectly right. Okay, so I think there is one question typing in, but maybe we could, if you allow, I think we could go on for an hour actually. And if you allow, I would put a little break in here. I want to thank you, Lola, for
yes,
all these questions and for this lively discussion also to you out there. And which I think it shows that the journey of new reality will go on. So
yes.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And enjoy the next keynotes.
We will definitely. Thank you.